good.
Okay. All right. So you can see the headings there: membership growth, enhancing club experience, and leadership support.
Yeah.
These are what drives attraction and retention, and how we can strengthen the club experience across district. The club membership snapshot of 2026 is 1.6 million members, 36,000 clubs, strong growth in India, Africa, and East Asia, but unfortunately, have been declining in Australia, North America, New Zealand, and Western Europe. So Rotary is growing globally, but not evenly. The strongest growth is in regions with flexible modern club models. Western countries continue to face decline due to ageing membership and outdated structures. So community impact, friendship and belonging, professional and personal growth, and purpose and service. These are the motivations that are consistent across age groups. People join Rotary because they want meaning, connection, and impact. Community impact refers to social and volunteering, economic contribution, and environment action. So social volunteering, this is hands-on volunteer projects that address local needs, partnerships with schools, hospitals, and local organisations, youth mentoring and leadership development and programs, disaster relief, and emergency response coordination. Economic contribution, this is supporting local business through events and sponsorships, scholarship and grant programs, fueling career opportunities. Professional networking that strengthens local economies, and fundraising that channels resources back into the community. Environmental action, this is tree planting, waterway restoration and cleanup initiatives, sustainability education and awareness campaigns, community gardens and green space development, and promoting renewable energy and waste reduction locally. So why people leave Rotary? Poor club experience, the time burden, cost versus value, lack of engagement, and club culture mismatch. Members rarely leave Rotary. They leave a club experience that doesn't work for them. This is our biggest opportunity. Club experience matters most when we have flexible meetings, welcoming culture, clear pathways to contribute, visible community impact, and strong onboarding. The club experience is the number one predictor of retention. Clubs that modernise thrive. So flexible meetings have member enjoyment, when members have fun and feel that they are included and belong. Welcoming culture is confidence in club leadership. When members feel that they have input into their club and their club leaders are open to their ideas, is when they trust their leaders make good decisions for the club. And clear pathways to contribute. Personal growth opportunities, when members feel that their club and Rotary offer ways for them to develop their skills and to grow. Visible community impact. These are connections when members feel they've formed valuable relationships through Rotary. Strong onboarding. This is meaningful service. When members feel that the service their club does make a difference in the world and their community. All right. So modern club models. We spoke about this with Colin before. You've got cause-based clubs, satellite clubs, passport clubs, corporate clubs, and hybrid virtual clubs. These models are growing rapidly worldwide. They offer flexibility and relevance, especially for younger members. Cause-based clubs are where members are passionate about a specific cause and focus their service efforts on that topic. Satellite clubs or companion clubs are part of the Rotary Club that has its own meeting, projects, bylaws, and board managed in collaboration with sponsor club. Passport clubs. This is a club that allows members to attend other clubs' meetings frequently if they attend a specified number of home club meetings each year. Good for people who travel frequently. Corporate clubs. Corporate clubs for those members who work for the same employer. For the same token, you can have corporate membership in your own club as well. Hybrid virtual clubs. This is a club that meets physically and offers online participation via Zoom or Teams. So membership growth strategies: attraction, storytelling, social media and partnerships, engagement and retention, check-ins, surveys, purpose for meetings. Growth is not about recruitment alone. It is about creating a club people want us to stay in. What young members want is flexibility, digital communication, inclusive culture, early leadership opportunities, and less formal, more action. Younger members aren't asking for less Rotary. They're asking for Rotary that fits its modern life. And District 9815 membership insights. So we've got modest decline over the past 5 years. And weakest clubs, those with rigid meeting structures. The strongest clubs, those with active community projects, and offer opportunities like satellites, corporate partnerships, youth program conversion. District 9815 mirrors national trends. The clubs that innovate and grow are those that don't decline. So create the club people want to belong to. Membership growth is the outcome. The club experience is the driver. So I'm sorry it took so long to get there, but we finally did. Do we have any questions?
Hello, this is Nigel from Hastings Western Port. Thanks for that presentation. I know it was a big stress, but you got there, so well done.
Thank you.
Is there a budget where clubs like us, we're a small club, 15 people, is there money available for us to apply for a grant to work on a project to find more members? Or do we have to use our own coffers?
Obviously, the district has its own budgets. You could put a proposition up, we could have a look at it. Otherwise, you could probably lose, depending on what the project is you want to do, you might have a look for a district grant, foundation grant, and you can look at those to set up the program you want to look at for flexibility.
So there isn't actually anything at the moment based on membership.
Not on them. Go on, Emma.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what type of project were you thinking about, Nigel, or not at that stage, just throwing the idea out there?
Yeah, just throwing the idea out there. But, we'd like to make some multimedia advertisement, put something in the newspaper. So, that's why I'm asking, is there one that we can...
So aside from the membership committee, we've also got the high performance and marketing committee. Past District Governor Cher Smart oversees that, and that was our first session for the day today. And they are very au fait with preparing multimedia campaigns, analysing the impact of those campaigns, really helping you prepare even a project from start to finish in a very professional way. So whilst there's no necessarily any money, there's plenty of people and resources there. Which club were you from again, Nigel? Sorry, I missed that.
Hastings Western Port.
Hastings Western Port, yeah. So that is something that I can put Cher in touch with you, get the Facebook, or I talk Facebook, but there's plenty of, as you probably know, other social media platforms that they're using now. But yeah, we can certainly get someone to come to your club, have a workshop, get online with people and actually get something ready to put out there if that's of any use.
Yeah, if you could have a contact, give her the contact for us, that would be good.
Yeah, no worries at all.
Previously, clubs in 9810, we had one club, Chelsea, and these are the days when you had the local paper. and they would have a section of local paper every week, or probably once a month at least, and they would put it in there, but partnership mainly with real estate agents or other businesses in their community, and they would pay for the advertising together. So depending on the size of the paper you had, since you're in the country, you may find yourself a local paper, and you might get other members of your community to go in partnership with you to advertise their products and your product as well.
Mm. Thanks.
The most success at the moment has been with some, as you've quite rightly said, it social media projects or campaigns, and more I can see around the district clubs using that strategy. So yeah, definitely I'll get Shia to reach out to you, Nigel. Thank you for that. Mark, I can see you're next in line with your hand up with a question or a comment.
I've got two questions, one related to this current conversation, and I'm just thinking in regards to, I mean, I've told you a few times, I've only been 3 years and been a member 3 years of Rotary, and I think that's the biggest challenge is promoting it. And I think each Rotary club seems to promote themselves really well within each of their areas, but I don't know whether Rotary promotes itself really well as a bigger picture. I had a catch up with a couple of days ago with a plumber doing some work, and so I'm just going off to Rotary to the barbecue, and he goes, "What's Rotary?" He was about 28, never even heard of it. Didn't even have any relation to it. I explained to him, he goes, "Oh wow, what a great organisation." I said, "Oh yeah, it's been involved," and I just don't know whether there's an opportunity for influencers. I know, as a YouTube watcher, someone like Mr. Beast is an example who has a lot of philanthropy stuff. He's doing things very similar to what Rotary does on an international basis, all based within his little network. And I don't know whether there's an opportunity for us to get onto that same sort of page, where we're trying to promote to a younger generation, not to the generation he is, which is almost teens and 20s, but to 30s and 40s, and how we can get people involved and just, explain that the commitment doesn't have to be 20 hours a week. It can be, it's 2 or 3 hours a week would be fantastic. So I just think there's an opportunity with a broader promoting rather than, I know not what we're doing club level is great, but I think it needs to be bigger as well.
Yeah, we're very good at telling each other about how good we are, but not the general public. So what I've learnt certainly, and I've been in Rotary and Rotaract 34 years and seen all sorts of things. There's something going on which not all of us are necessarily aware of at the moment, which is called regionalisation, which is supposedly more supports, more widespread ad campaigns, that sort of thing. They're trying and dabbling in a few things. So a good place to start is also just simply looking for and liking Rotary South Pacific on Facebook. And they're having some ads come out that are much more colourful, really active. And there is an ad campaign being worked on that we'll be able to put out around Australia. The other thing is also to go, when you are making your social media campaigns, obviously having great photos, which District Governor Peter Bem has been a big fan of, making sure you're not taking photos that look like you're all in a firing squad, that they're really active. So using lots of those photos, but also using the My Rotary Brand Centre. And in there are actually photos with lovely, probably motherhood statements in a way, but little create, inspire, that sort of thing. So they can also be used as well. And as Marie has just pointed out there, following people like Jennifer Jones getting in tune with what other clubs is doing. So that's what I've done, is I've liked every single Rotary club in our area that I can see, and just tapping into and stealing ideas. Let's be honest about it. Let's just pinch each other's ideas. And District Governor Peter Bem has also got an ad which was made for cinemas about our district. So that's something that we're trying to get into, independent cinemas only at the moment. But I hear what you're saying, Mark. I'll move on to Chris.
Before you do, Emma.
Oh, sorry, Malcolm. Yep.
Sorry, just Mark is. I think it was brought out earlier in the youth presentations that if you can get into your schools, your primary schools and your high schools, and build up your networks in those areas and get your Rotary programs going, you're going to get an audience there, and hopefully we'll start to get parents involved through Rotary as well. But do a partnership with the school. Don't let's be the benefit factor with money for them. I've done this with a couple of primary schools, And once you get a project up and running with the school, go and see your local real estate agent and put a board up the front there, tell what the school population, what you've done and what the school's done. So the word gets out there more, then you can put that into any Facebook or any social media that you may want to do so.
Mm.
And the other thing is too, I'm not sure everybody is aware that there's a paper in RI called Conducting Community Assessments, and it goes step by step how you get involved with your community and who you talk to and so forth. It's quite a lengthy document, but it's like everything. It just takes time to put the process into operation. It's not going to happen overnight, but if you work through all that, you'll get more contact with your community, and then that way your presence will become more than what it is, a little, a profile behind a bush. You got to get yourself out there, but you got to make contact with your community to see what they want.
Excuse me,
Yeah.
everybody. Emma, Sorrento has just got a new theatre with 50 seats. How do I get that ad?
I will let Peter Bem get in contact with you. He'll be most excited. Thank you. Is that you,
And
Marilyn?
that would be fantastic to have at that
Yep.
theatre. Mm-hmm.
Yep, that'd be great. Look, thank you. There's lots of things going on in the chat there. Another person to follow, apart from Jennifer Jones, a past international president, is Evan Burrell, who is very local, current district governor in New South Wales, and he is a guru at all sorts of coming up with great little icons and sayings and so on. So another good person to follow and steal stuff from. Chris Hansen, your hand has been up patiently.
Yeah, I listened to Malcolm before, who's a new member. And he indicated that he was trying to get members. I've got a voice that sounds like it's echo. I don't know what it is. Anyway, getting back to the story. His comment was to people who wanted why should I pay at work? Now, this has been a bugbear of mine for many years. Most Rotarians, when I started in 1982, were businessmen, and that was the purpose of getting members, people who were high up in certain industries. You had classifications of people who generally had money. This day and age, that doesn't work. There are a lot of organisations out there that do great work, and they set up their organisation, and their fees for doing so and payment to people on a paid income comes out of the revenue they raise. We in Rotary raise revenue from the community, which we cannot touch, and it all goes back to the community. My query is, has there ever been any discussion, or should we look at some discussion in the future, whereby our yearly membership fees are paid by the fundraising that we spend time in raising those funds to run the Rotary Club?
This is a very hot topic. Over the years, it's been discussed many times, Chris, and we're currently District Governor nominee Murray and myself and Peter Bem as well, and the board are looking at, and as I say, it's not always a clear path forward, but there are a number of clubs in New South Wales and Queensland that are doing something called fee for service, which not everyone is going to agree with, but we're looking at putting out some ideas, guidelines that are meeting our Rotary International requirements and paying heed, of course, to the Fundraising Act that mean that you can, as long as potentially, and we're investigating it to make sure we're getting it right, that you can, as long as you're being transparent about what you're advertising, that you can, let's say your club does car parking for whatever event or something, you take a bit of money for that can go into offsetting club fees and things like that. Some clubs actually, for insurance at the different events, they actually say, well, that event, the cost of the budget for that event, the cost of insurance should come out of the budget of that event rather than people paying for it. So there are some ideas in the wind. I don't have the authority to say, yes, go and do this definitely now, but it's something that we're hoping to get nailed down in the next month or so that clubs can have some different ideas to try out there, because cost is definitely a concern. And that's probably all I can say on that, rather than getting into further territory. But yeah, I totally hear you, Chris, there. In the interests of time, and I appreciate we had a bit of a slow start, thanks, Chris. I'll go to Grant now.
Thanks, Emma. You stole my thunder in regards to Evan Burrell.
Sorry. Yeah.
He was absolutely brilliant at the Hobart conference. But I just wanted to say to Nigel as well, is that local government, their public pages, they have a forum that you can put in for free, anything that you might be doing or anything that any club or agency is seeking to do. So I know that the Frankston Council, we can just log into that, put all our information in for a particular activity, project or notification. I would imagine that Mornington Council wouldn't be any different. But certainly they have that capacity for you to get some publicity to do that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks, Grant. Andrew?
Emma, Maroondah, back in about 2017, with the cooperation of District Governor Russell Gurney, made provision in our fundraising for what we described as a club development portion to go from the particular activity that went into this club development fund, which was primarily designed to promote the club. But certainly had no implications for supporting membership fees. And that might be a way of at least giving club members or the clubs a pool of money to promote the club, and provided that it was advised at the time of the fundraising that there would be a portion, and I think a maximum 3% of fundraising went to club development. It's worked quite successfully for Maroondah.
Thanks, Andrew. Another great idea there, and it's one of those things, and the insurance costs are a big part of it there. And certainly when District puts out its dues, we had our finance session earlier in the day with Paul, me and Gordon Morris, and that insurance is determined by the fact that Rotary International and uses one provider, and we don't seem to have much negotiation there as well. So we're a bit caught up. We have this amazing structure and we know the power of Rotary, but there are definitely those frustrations there, which we could certainly talk about for a long time. I'll take one last comment or question there from Catherine.
Thanks, Emma. Just in the meantime, while we're sort of sorting out whether or not we can or can't redirect funds, you could also point out to prospective members that the money that Rotary raises goes back to the community, and that is why we have a fee, because we're not paying ourselves. We're not paying for ourselves to. I've got it all mixed up, but you know what I mean. Like we are putting all the money that we raise back into the community. We're not subsidising ourselves, whilst we figure everything else out.
Yeah. No, that's great. Yeah. And thank you to all the notes there in the chat too. Yeah, lots of interesting information there as well. Look, that we will bring things to a close. I don't want to use up any more of your time. I really appreciate people being online this afternoon to have this chat. And thank you, Malcolm. Thank you, Past District Governor Malcolm, for facilitating that. Now, the recordings from today will be made available on not only, I think, sent out by David Button, but also put onto the website, which David has really restructured. It's an amazing place wealth of knowledge there. And you can go there. The recordings will be on there as well in a couple of weeks' time. Within the next couple of weeks, they'll be placed there. So if there's something we've referred to that you think you might like to go back to but you didn't attend that session, they will be available then as well. Can I strongly encourage, I've said this every time today in every session, make sure all your club details, so whether it's yourself, president-elects, secretaries, are accurate online in My Rotary and Club Runner, and that means that we can make sure we're keeping in touch with each other. We've got a lot of work to do coming up this year with Rotary community groups, so stay tuned for lots of these types of discussions and workshops where we can share ideas. And I used the word before, borrow, steal, whatever it is, everyone's ideas and share them around, because collaborating and building on each other's ideas means that we will be a lot stronger in our messaging about Rotary as well. Love to meet some of you. It's the first time I've seen you online. Some of your names I've been emailing with people. Really look forward to meeting you, hopefully at the district changeover on the 4th of July, for example, or around the clubs. So thank you, everyone, for this afternoon. Well done to those people who have made it through 7 hours. Great achievement there. Special gold star. And look forward to seeing you all around.